Good afternoon, tubers. Matt Emeroy back once again. Well, let's see if I can get this lighting properly. Back to you from Planet Fitness Live, and I am feeling pumped. I just completed a 60-minute workout on the treadmill here at Planet Fitness, where I was able to do 3 miles at 15 minutes a mile. So basically, I did it at 4.2 miles an hour. The last mile I did at 3.8 miles an hour. Then I had a cool down period. So I am feeling really pumped right now. I'm trying to adjust the seats so I can get the lighting a little bit better. There we go. Oh, this was not planned, so if you guys missed this, I apologize. You'll have to see it in post-production. Hang on a sec.
Power on. Pairing. Phone 1 connected.
See if you guys can hear me a little bit better now. I forgot to put on my Bluetooth speaker. Got 3 watchers here. Those of you that are coming in just now, my workout really caused me to sweat a lot. If you guys can see, I have pretty much totally sweat through this shirt. What you're seeing here is total sweat. So yeah, that's how intense that workout was. It's not the only workout I did today. I did some marching in place this morning right before I went out. I was actually supposed to go and pick up a computer on Craigslist. It was a Dell Vostro 470. I went down to the other part of Chesapeake where the guy was. Never answered his phone. I was never able to get it. Don't you just hate it when people do that? People tell you to be somewhere at a certain time. They're not there, and they don't allow you to get a hold of them. I think in his case, what actually happened was he probably sold it, because when I tried to call him, you could tell that he was putting my call like almost directly to voicemail. It would ring like twice, and then it would go right to voicemail. So I think he probably sold it and was just too ashamed to tell me. Feeling very dehydrated right now. After a good workout, you want to drink plenty of those. Plenty of water. That's a wrap. Yes, I hate inconsiderate psychopaths like that. That's a good word for, good word for it. They definitely are inconsiderate people. They don't factor in people's time. You know, it drives me crazy. I've had a lot of people do that. Not just people that I'm buying things from, but people that are trying to buy things from me. They'll talk to me constantly. They'll ask me a million questions. They're like, yeah, I'll be there to get it. Give me about a half an hour. 2 hours later, they're not there, and I message them back. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, or I'm sorry, I decided to buy another computer. So, unfortunately, you can't trust a lot of people out there. Excuse me. I'm still sweating really bad from this workout. Luckily, it's really cool outside. Let me see if I can get you guys an actual temperature. Now, it says 80 degrees, but that's because we're in the sun here. It's probably more like 68, 70 degrees, and very low humidity. Fall has certainly finally hit here in Southern Virginia a day before October. And this, fun fact, is the hottest September on record in Virginia, ever since they started keeping records since the late 1800s. And this was actually forecast that way in the Farmer's Almanac. You know what? I gotta try to adjust this. I am not happy with the way the sun is hitting my face. Let me see if that... Now that is a lot better. Let's try that. Maybe I can lift the seat up. No. You know what it is? I think it's the film that they put on top here to keep the sun out is kind of casting a shadow on my forehead. So, apologize, but that's about as good as I'm going to get here. At least you guys can still see me, right? Alright, so we got 5 watchers and 1 like. That is awesome. I appreciate you guys so much for sticking with me during these live streams. I do the live streams because, be honest with you, I've been really busy lately, and they're a lot easier than having to do actual vlogs, which I will start doing again. I promise you guys I'm going to start those up again as soon as I get a little bit more time on my hands. That's a wrap. Still warm. Still a little warm down here in Wilmington. 92 a few days last week, but I'm working security in AC, so whatever. Hey, that's great as long as you're not working outside. I feel really bad for our lawn guy. He actually retired, and he sold the business to another person who's a lot younger than he is. And Man, I even feel for him because I see him out there during the summer doing our trimming because we pay him to do our trimming and our neighbors' lawns. And by the time he's done, he's sweat through the shirt even worse than I have at this point. Hired Gun says, yo, 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 Matt. Hey, Hired Gun. Nice to see you there. Looks like I missed something from Mr. Jimmy. What is the worst time waster you ever had? I don't know if I can remember a specific time or specific event, but I do remember some people that contacted me, say 8, 9 in the morning, saying they wanted to come buy a computer, and I scheduled a time for them. Let's just say it was like 5 or 6 at night, and I was gonna plan. I was planning on going to the movies. Well, I decided to stay home because I knew these people were gonna come. And comes on about 8, 9 p.m. They haven't shown up, so I message them, and either they don't answer me back at all, or they answer me back and they say, oh, I'm sorry, something came up, I'll have to reschedule. So that gives you a really good example of a time waster for me. I am going to move this van really quick, guys, because the sun is just blaring on my face. Let me go ahead and get a better angle here. I am literally just going to turn around. There we go. Now I don't have that weird shadow on my face either. That's awesome. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. People in general are just very inconsiderate sometimes. But let's go more on a positive note here. We're going to talk a little more about fitness and how I've actually gotten to this point. I want to give a shout out to some very good friends of ours, Pam and Mark Applewhite. I know you're probably not watching this because you were just at our house an hour ago and you're driving home now. So if you see this in post-production, this is a shout out to you. They have not seen me in about a year now, and they've seen my vlogs and they've seen some of the pictures I've put up, but once they saw me in person, they said, I can't believe how much weight you lost. They were so proud of me, and I like to hear that. That really gives me encouragement to stay the course and not to backslide. It's so easy to get discouraged these days. You know, things come up in our lives, you know, things that cost us money, things that put tolls on our emotional health, things that, you know, kind of bring us down. But we got to remember, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. If you don't have family, you don't have anything. Those are the two most important things in your life. Money is way down the list there. There may be those people out there that say, oh man, that's not true. You can't be happy without money. I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. I've known many, many families that were poor as dirt, just say dirt poor. They didn't have a you-know-what to piss in. All right, they'll say it, a pot to piss in. And they were happy. They had each other. That a lot of times they'd have cookouts, you know, they'd have family events, they'd get together for Christmas, you know, they wouldn't have a lot of presents, but at least the family was able to get together. On the opposite side of that, I know people that are extremely rich, they're miserable, they're usually, a lot of times they're divorced because money is the ultimate corruption, money's the root of all evil, as Tony Bennett said in that song. And a lot of them are divorced 1 or 2 times, paying out alimony. They don't really have a family per se to go home to. So that's why if you ask me point blank, do I want to be rich? No, I do not want to be rich because money complicates things. That being said, I don't want to be poor either. I'd like to be right in the middle. I want to be, you know, well off enough to where I can afford a comfortable lifestyle, but not so rich to the point where money starts ruling me. That's my 2 cents on that. Tyler says, Matt, hope your day was good. I have noticed you lost weight. Proud of you. I have not had time to watch your videos, but I will today. Thank you very much, Tyler. Yeah, I know you've been really, really busy on the farm lately, and I have to apologize to you, too, because I know we were going to Skype chat about a month ago now, and I've even had a chance to do that with the hurricane that really never came, and we bugged out trying to catch up on bills and everything. It's just been super crazy, and that's another reason why I haven't really done a lot of YouTube videos recently, because it takes so much time to film them, to edit them, you know, to upload them. All that takes so much time, and you have to prioritize in your life sometimes. As you guys know, most of you know by now, I have been trying to get my own place for a while. And that is looking more and more like it's going to be a possibility within the next 6 months to a year. But with all that entails, I've been having to put my priorities elsewhere, making enough money for the down payment. My parents have already said they'll help me financially, but they want to see that I have a good enough financial footing to where I'm not going to get in trouble. If they were to say, just for argument's sake, I'm not saying they're going to do this, but let's say they saw that I had made enough money where I could probably sustain a household, a mortgage, all the bills, and they fit the money for the down payment, which they've already said they would do. They want to make sure that, a year down the road, something doesn't happen to where they have to pretty much sustain me financially. And I totally understand that. I am with them 100%, and that's why I am staying at home where I am now, because I want to make sure I have enough money to where I don't become a burden on my family. And I know my parents are very, very loving people. I know that they would want to help as much as they possibly could. So that gives you guys a little bit of an explanation of why I haven't been making a lot of videos lately. That was a little long-winded. Let me let's take another sip here. I need to rehydrate myself. An hour on the treadmill. I would say I probably sweated out a good half a gallon of water, so I need to definitely rehydrate. I was actually a little bad today. I'll be honest with you guys, because we had our friends over. My mother made this lemon iced bundt cake. If you don't know what a bundt cake is, it's like it's almost like a cake with a hole in the middle, and it kind of looks tubular like this, kind of like angel food cake comes. And I wound up having 2 pieces of that, one bigger and one smaller slab. So I probably had about that much of the cake. So I kind of felt obligated to come to the gym and work that off. And that's another tip that I can give you guys if you're trying to lose weight. What you want to do is, if you have a bad day like me where you've eaten more, you've eaten more than you should, and come on, those of you out there know that happens on occasion. The best thing I tell you to do is get to the gym. Just work out that much more, because even after you finish your workout, your body is still in fat burning mode for many hours to come. Give you an example. I had my last meal, which was the cake, around 3:30 today. And I'm not going to eat anything else tonight, with the exception of maybe some of these excitements. If I really, really get hungry, these satisfy me. You guys can read it. These are the equivalent to like the icebreakers, but these are the ones you get in Aldi. And these are 2 mints are zero. These are basically nothing. They're 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sodium. They do have sorbitol in it, so I will tell you, if you have problems with indigestion and gas, you want to avoid these, or if you do have them, only have a few, because these things will give you really bad gas pains in the long run. I'm talking from personal experience here, so trust me on that. Ugh. My nose is itchy a little bit, having some allergy-related issues, but again, that's typical when the summer-fall switch comes. Mr. Jimmy says, nice to have your own bachelor pad. Yes, it would be. I absolutely want to have my own bachelor pad. Ruben asked, did you find anything at any garage sales? I found a Dell Inspiron 6000 at a garage sale, and they wanted $30. It's ridiculous. Yeah, for an Inspiron 6000, that is ridiculous. Those were actually notorious for motherboard failures, too. As for my personal finds, I went to a community sale tonight, and I found one thing, and that was a set of weights. I paid the guy $5 for it, and I think that was an amazing deal. Unlike, they're free weights, but the nice thing is they have individual weights that you can put on them, and then it has like a clamp that you twist and put the weights on. And the nice thing about that is you can go anywhere from 5, 10, or 15 pounds, so I can actually switch off. Right now I have it at their max, So there's 2 bars in there, 15 pounds each gives 30 pounds, and that's what my body's used to right now. So I've actually done really well with those. I keep that set upstairs, so that's a set of 15-pound weights I keep in my room, and I also have a set of 15-pound weights that I keep downstairs, so I can pretty much work out whenever the mood strikes me. Now we'll show you guys. I am definitely building up. You can see I got a little bit of a hard bicep there. I know it's not as big as some bodybuilders, but it's getting there. The worst thing I'll tell you about losing weight, if you lose a lot of weight, you tend to get a lot of this loose skin under your arms, and that's why I've said I may need to look into skin removal surgery. I'm hoping over time some of this might go away, and as I build my muscles up, it might go down and kind of hide some of this. But I've been heavy long enough to where that, unfortunately, is going to be an issue for me. Clean the lens off here a little bit. You didn't lose the signal. I just wiped the lens off real quick. 17 watchers and 6 likes. That is awesome. I am going to set up the car charger because I think we are going to kill my battery really quick. That's the only negative thing about the live streaming through YouTube. I've noticed that it really kills the battery on my cell phone. That's why I try not to do it that often. Luckily, I have this rapid charger. If you guys have any of the Samsung Galaxy series phones, mine's the S9. Actually, it would just be the S9, I think. I'm not sure if the S8 uses USB-C or not, but I actually bought this charger on eBay for $8, and it works great. It's an authentic Samsung car charger with a USB-C cable coming out of it, and it is a fairly rapid charge. I don't think it's Samsung rapid charge where it's like 4 amps, but I think it's like 2.5 if I'm not mistaken. So it'll charge a weak battery pretty quickly, much quicker than, like, say, you've just plugged into the computer's USB 3 port. If my phone is down to like 60%, or even 50%, it'll take like half the night to charge it up, where this will maybe do it within 20, maybe 25 minutes. Ruben says avoid high fructose. I assume you mean high fructose corn syrup, and yes, absolutely. I do have it on rare occasions, but for the most part I avoid it. Mainly that's just when I'm out eating, and I know a few places that put it in their shakes, like Sonic, but that's on rare occasions. Stephen Barber says, I try to avoid all sugars being a diabetic. Keep up the good work. You're looking great. Thank you very much, Stephen. I really appreciate that. Again, it just depends on what kind of diabetic you are. Type 1s, yes, you got to avoid most sugar. Type 2 can usually control it with diet and exercise. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor, so whatever I say, definitely please take with a grain of salt. Scott Kearley, I'm going to read this. I'm a little worried because I'm losing weight thanks to you. I'm afraid that once I look it on my stomach, it will be really saggy. Yeah, again, it just depends on how heavy you were. You got to remember, I at one time was over 400 pounds. My highest weight was 416 pounds, and that was maybe for 2 or 3 months. But for many years, I was in the 300s, like 350, 340. And now I'm down to closer to 240. I'm probably more like 245 right now. You're going to have some saggy skin. That is going to be a problem. The best thing I could tell you to do would be just to, work out as much as possible. Stomach crunches will help. But to be honest with you, weightlifting will probably do as much good as those stomach crunches or sit-ups. At the end of the day, though, you still may need to look into something like skin removal surgery, like I'm going to have to do probably within the next year or so. Max O'Neill, what do you think of the new XS Max and XS from Apple? Would you ever switch? Probably not. as I've said many times, I'm not an Apple fanboy. There are two kinds of people. There are Apple people and Android people. And then I guess I could add there's also Apple people and PC people. Notice I didn't say Microsoft because PC people can include Linux as well. You know, my biggest beef with Apple is their prices. For what you get, I still say they are grossly overpriced. I can get a PC for a fraction of the price a Mac would cost me. Granted, an iPhone and an Android phone are actually closer in price now than they used to be, but to be honest with you, I still like my Android. I've used it for so long, that's pretty much what I'm used to at this point. Max O'Neill asked, what's your target? I assume you're referring to my target weight. My target weight is about 230 pounds. The doctor told me no, looking at my body frame size, which is, I'm a naturally large frame person, and my bone density, he said no less than 230 or 235. So heck, why not? I'm going to shoot for the lower. I'm going to say 230 pounds. Wow. I'm just playing with the zoom here. There we go. Scott Keeley, 6'5". Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're definitely up there, buddy. My uncle is close to that. My uncle that passed away was 6'4.5". My other uncle's like 6'3.5", and my cousins are like 6'3", 6'4". I'm 6'2", and believe it or not, I am the runt. In other words, I'm the shortest guy in my family. Even my grandfather was like 6'4". Ruben says, I'm 226 pounds of last Sunday. I think you put a couple of pounds on there, buddy. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, I agree. Scott Kearley said 240. Yeah, 240 would be about right for you. 6'5", 240. Yeah. 6'2", to be honest with you, if I was like a medium frame person, then I'd want to be more like around 200 pounds, but I'm not. My doctor plain said to me plainly, look, you are a large framed, dense boned individual. He did all these different blood tests to help me out, because I went there and I said, look, I need you to give me a target weight. I want to know what weight I should be at. And that's why I took all those samples, and that's when he told me around 230 or 235 pounds. So it's incredible to think I'm only about 10 or 15 pounds away from my goal. That boggles my mind when I think a year ago I couldn't even fathom being down to the weight I am now. It amazes me, and I hope this really encourages you guys out there, whoever out there is trying to lose weight, that somebody like me, a naturally lazy person like me, can do this. You guys can do it too. Trust me. 17 watchers, 8 likes. Come on, give me some more likes out there, and I would really appreciate a super chat. I know a lot of you guys out there probably can't, but any little bit will help, because with that money, I'll be able to go more places and hopefully do some more vlog videos. At the very least, put some gas money in my van. Ruben goes, hey Matt, the new Google Chrome has a redesign, and I'm not familiar that the redesigned Chrome is better than the old Chrome. I wouldn't say it's better. It's more of an aesthetic change than anything else. I was noticing that the other day, and to me it looks a lot more like Firefox. They're actually making it look a little bit more like Firefox. Just a little bit more streamlined. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been friends with a lot of software engineers, web designers, computer programmers. Not my forte, but people that do that kind of stuff. And I'll be honest with you, the reason the companies do this, it's basically to keep those people employed. If they didn't periodically do these redesigns and drastic changes, then they couldn't keep these people employed. They'd be laying them off all the time, and that's the main reason that they make those changes. YouTube changes their look a lot. They change their formats, and it drives me up the wall. I have a lot of people that watch my channel, older people that say, I can't find your channel anymore. They changed this dang YouTube thing. Used to click up here to go to your channel. Now I gotta click here. Or that subscriber button's gone totally, and now it's some fangled menu that says all, or list all those people that I'm subscribed to. It drives them crazy, but that's what happens. They gotta justify their employees to their accountant by doing stuff like that. Here we go. Scott, I'm going to read this because I like the way you put this. Tip for everyone: the way weight loss is that you have no trouble to gain 100 pounds, but it can be challenging. Just have self-control and eat right and exercise, and you will reach your goal. That is an excellent point. Let's face it, putting weight on is the easiest thing in the world. You don't exercise, eat more than you should, eat more calories than you burn. You'll gain 100 pounds in no time. Taking it off is another matter entirely, because we are so ingrained in this society around food. Let's face it, we live to eat when we should be the opposite. We should be eating to live. And that is actually from a movie, and I can't remember the name of it. It was the one where Bruce Willis voiced the raccoon. Somebody will put it up there, but that's where I heard that from. And it is true, because as a society, we eat out entirely too much. Think about this. This is a statistic out there that 40 to 50% of Americans eat fast food on a daily basis. Another 20 to 30% of those people eat fast food for two out of the three meals of their day. In other words, people are going out and having fast food for breakfast. Okay, maybe they bring a healthy lunch, a salad or a sandwich, something like that. And then they're going out and eating McDonald's for dinner. You are going to gain weight. I can give you guys the fastest way to lose 10 pounds within a month, but without changing anything, except for one thing, and that is stop eating fast food. There is so much salt, so much sodium, so much fat, so many calories in all this fast food. Yes, I realize I said two of the same things. So we'll say sodium, fat, and sugar. That's what I meant to say. In all these fast food places, it is terrible for your body. And you think that the ones that are healthy, like Subway, are actually healthy? They're not. Subway can be some of the biggest offenders. Subway puts tons of sugar in the rolls that they bake. Their meatballs are full of fat. Their deli meats, their cold cuts, their ham, their bologna, their roast beef are full of fat. Cold cuts are another thing that are really bad, and that's one of my weak points. I love a good sandwich, a good ham and cheese, or a good turkey and cheese sandwich in the afternoons, and they're not the best for it because, again, they're filled with fat most of the time, especially if you're eating ham, and they also have a lot of sodium in there. One thing that I am trying to do for afternoons, for my lunch, instead of having like a ham and cheese, I've been getting this turkey from Aldi, and it's basically a cooked turkey breast. It's in with the cold cuts, but it's a whole turkey breast that they cook, and what we do is we bring it home, and we have one of those deli slicers, and we slice it up, and we eat that, and that has a lot less sodium, and it's a lot less processed than normal cold cuts. So, top tip, if you want to lose, I would say on average about 10 pounds in a month, give up fast food. That stuff is poison to your body. That's a wrap. Matt, are you still planning on moving to New York next year? Possibly. As of right now, I'm in talks with the person that owns the, I call it the Village Variety, but it's actually called the new 5 and 10. to get a part-time job there. And I'm in talks also with my uncle's neighbor who has a house that he's renovating. And that is all still a go if I want to. Now, I'm going to say this one more time. This will not be until next fall. So this is about a year out from right now. My only concern is the computer side of things. I am not sure that I'll be able to do the computer business up there like I do down here, because even though it's a beautiful area up there, I love it up there, it is more of a depressed area. In other words, there isn't as much money up there. So I have to weigh the pros and cons. What I might do, I'm also talking to my uncle. You've seen that big house that my uncle lives in. And he has some extra rooms in there. My new plan is to, maybe for 3 or 4 months, actually stay with him, pay him some rent, and basically test the waters to see if it's viable up there. If I can make a go of the computer business up there, and I like working for the local five and dime guy, Mike, and that all works out well, then I might be able to say, okay, I justify and say, okay, let me go ahead and sign a lease and rent this house for 3, 4, 5, or 6 months. And from there, then I would probably look at buying my own place, because houses up there are infinitely cheaper than they are down here. We're talking $60,000 to $80,000 for a 4-bedroom, 2,500 square foot house up there, whereas down here that same house would cost you $200,000 to $250,000. So a lot of that is in the works right now. I will keep you guys updated as things change, but it's all looking really good. I have a lot of plans for the future, and the future is firmly in front of me. That's another saying from some TV show that I can't remember, but it's true. You could do anything with your future. You know, years ago, when I went through my depressions, that was the big thing. I said to myself, oh, I'm fat and lazy. I'll never be able to amount to anything. I'm never going to get this weight off. I'm never going to get my own place. I don't buy that anymore. Now I know that I can do it. And you guys can do it too. If you guys are out there dealing with depression, anxiety, I've been through it all. If you name a symptom, I've had it. Believe me, I have. And I've gotten through it. It's amazing. And I will say this. God has helped me tremendously with this. And I know I don't usually talk religion in these live streams, but I am going to say this. I have been a lifelong Christian. I've been a Christian since I was about 3 years old, when I asked Jesus into my heart. And that has helped me tremendously. Now, whatever your beliefs are, that's fine. They always talk about your higher power. Whatever your higher power is, trust in that. And that'll help you through anything. Believe me, it will. Got 17 watchers and 9 likes. I noticed I dropped about 2 watchers when I started talking about religion. That's fine. If you guys want to leave because I'm talking about that, that's totally fine with me. I got a super chat from Max O'Neill. Thank you very much, Max. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Uh-oh. I'm losing... Hang on, guys. I'm losing the feed here. Here we go. Steve Balavia said, thank you for saying hit to my wife and daughter at Kroger. Oh, awesome. Yes. They enjoyed meeting you. Oh, that is awesome. Yes, I did. I remember seeing them the other day. Mom and I were actually there. Believe it or not, she was getting the icing there for our little bundt cake, the one I was just talking about a few minutes ago. She needed lemon icing, and Kroger is the only store that carries it. We still do most of our shopping over here in Aldi's, but Kroger is good for specialty items like that. And I actually did pick up something really cool there. I really should have did a food review, but I didn't have the time, and I just didn't really think of it. They have a section where they have pre-packaged food, and they have a section where they have the sushi. And I wound up picking up a Philly roll, which is a type of cooked sushi. It's stuffed with cream cheese, that fake crab, avocado with a seaweed and rice wrap. You guys, most of you guys probably know what sushi is, and that is like a little treat for me. It comes in a pack. It's like $6. You get 8 of them. I usually eat 4 at once and then save the other 4 for the next day. And it comes with a little ball of wasabi and a little bit of soy sauce. And what I do is I take the soy sauce and mix it in with the wasabi. It is such a good treat. I know sushi isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I absolutely love it. So I need another sip of water here. Usually I bring my own water. This is $2. $2, but I didn't have much of a choice because I knew I was going to be doing a live stream, and I didn't want to get dehydrated. I knew I'd already sweat probably almost every bit of water I had in my body out, so sometimes you just have to pay up. Whoa! Oh, what happened with my phone there? I'll tell you, I am really seriously considering upgrading to a different phone because I am not that happy with this Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. I don't like the front-facing camera on this, and there's some other quirks about it. It's not the most reliable phone. I'd say once every few weeks I actually have to do a hard reboot on it. So maybe within the next couple of months I'll look into upgrading to something different. And before anybody asks, it will not be an iPhone. It might be an LG. It may be another Samsung. I might just wait until the S10 comes out, but it definitely, most definitely, I can promise you, will not be an iPhone. Whoa, let me see. Oh my goodness. Max O'Neill, Disney Paris, when they went, it was £7.50, so $8 to $9 for 750 milliliters of water. How big is this? Yeah, this is 700, so basically 23.7 ounces. I'm not surprised. I live fairly close to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and I think the last time I was there, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, water was about $3 or $4 a bottle, and it's about the same size. About 700 milliliters, or again, let's say 24 ounces, about that. I do not do roller coasters that well. I know somebody's going to wind up asking that. I go on them very rarely. Actually, up until now, I could never go on a roller coaster because at least the ones in Busch Gardens, they had the shoulder straps, and I was too heavy. I could not actually get my shoulders in those straps to even go on one, so we'll see. Yeah, that's an idea. Now that I've lost the weight, I might get up my nerve to actually go on a roller coaster next year. Let me know that. I tell you what, we're gonna do a little contest here. I am going to add up the super chats that I get with the next few live streams. Let's say the next. Okay, we'll make it even easier than that. The next month's worth of live streams. If I get $20 in super chats between now and then, I will go on a roller coaster next year when Busch Gardens reopens. I will, and you guys can hold me to that. I will do that because I'm pumped. At this point in my life, I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a try. I am infinitely scared of roller coasters. I don't like them at all, especially going upside down with my inner ear problems. But you know what? Forget it. If you guys can help me out and start giving me some super chats here, if I can get up to $20 in super chats in the next month, I'm going to do it next year. And you guys can hold me to that. Oh my goodness. I am missing a lot of things here. Max O'Neill, what about I can never pronounce, but Huawei P20 Pro? That is a good phone, and that would definitely be a contender. You know, I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of these lesser known brands, I think Huawei is like a Korean phone. My dad had one years ago. It was a cheap track phone, but it was actually a decent phone. I know they've gotten a lot better since. Scott Kearley goes, sometimes I think it's the Android platform itself. My phone does goofy crap as well. Yeah, that is a consideration, and I'll be the first one to admit Android is not the most stable platform. iOS is definitely more stable than Android. But for me, it just goes down to what I'm used to now. I've used Android for the last 7 or 8 years now, pretty much since I got rid of my BlackBerry back in the day. I had the BlackBerry Curve back in like 07, 08, and then I think I got my first HTC One phone. Did you guys hear that? Power Stroke Diesel. Sweet. I got my first Android phone. It was an HTC One back around 2010, so about 8 years ago now. Wow. I tell you, I can't keep up with the time. The time just goes so dang fast nowadays. Abel Bottoms Gloria. Wow, you look good. Please don't stop working out, buddy. Such a change. Thank you. I have no intentions on stopping. You hit it right on, hit the nail on the head, Stephen Barber. He goes, iPhones are good, but your S7 Edge was a nice phone. I'll be honest with you, I am sorry at this point that I upgraded. I love that phone. The Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge by far was my favorite phone I ever had for many reasons. It was stable, hardly ever crashed. 2, the camera was awesome. The front-facing camera on that phone was better than the one on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. And 3, it was one durable phone. That kind of metal construction, I really miss that phone. As a matter of fact, if this phone gives me any more trouble, I may be selling this phone and trying to get an S7 Edge back. Great phone. If you guys are looking to upgrade, I would highly recommend going with that phone. I don't know about the S8. You guys would have to talk to Eric Brunhammer for that one. That's funny. Yeah, I read that. Max O'Neill put something. I'm not going to read it out loud, but he knows what I'm reading right now. Spencer Scrogan said, Christmastown is the only thing worth going to on Busch Gardens. You know, I have never, I've never been there for Christmastown. We always used to go to Hollow Scream, and used to go on the water rides. Of course, the Lascoot Log Flume and Pompeii, which is now shut down. They had a fire there last year, so that's kind of gone out now. That would be interesting. And I will tell you this much. Going on water rides at the end of October, even in Southern Virginia, it was cold. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, something about Busch Gardens that I remember very fondly. About 10 years ago, we had Busch Gardens season passes. Being that we live in Virginia, we pay, I think it was like $50 or $60 for season passes, and we can go into Busch Gardens as much as we want for that $50 or $60. One of the perks of living in Virginia. Well, it was the end of the season, you know, about 2-3 weeks before Busch Gardens was going to close down, and we went there. We knew there was a chance of rain, but we said forget it. So Dan and I went there. We went on a few rides, and all of a sudden the skies opened up. It started pouring rain, and the park was deserted. Nobody was there. It was raining, but it wasn't storming, so the rides were still open. So my dad and I said, this is a major opportunity. So what we did, we took our shirts off. We basically wrapped our feet in plastic bags and then put our shoes back on, taking our socks off. And we went on the Lascoot Log Flume for about 10 times. And we just stayed on it. There was nobody in line. So as soon as we got back to the start, they allowed us to just continue to go. And that is one of my fondest stories from Busch Gardens. I absolutely love that day. And then we went on Pompeii. We went on a few of the other rides too. At Busch Gardens, they do not shut the rides down if it's rainy, even if it's raining hard, but they will shut them down if it storms. That's about the only way they're going to shut it down. Max O'Neill goes, right, who's got $20? Man, I should have made that more, but I'm going to stick to it. I am going to stick to it. If I can get that super chat, then next season I am going on those rides. Hopefully by then I will have lost another 10 or so pounds. I can actually fit 100% into those straps. My other problem always was that I have broad shoulders, so even when I lose the weight, there are certain roller coasters I know I won't be able to go on, but there's at least one or two there that I know are the older style where they don't actually strap you in, you actually just sit down, and so I should be fine going on those. I wonder if they have shoulder reduction surgery, because if you guys look at me here, I have very broad shoulders, and you can see right here, they are bones. My shoulders are like skin and bones. I mean, they're really not going to get any more narrow than they are right now. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. We're getting a lot of comments at once here. Max O'Neill, UK mobile carriers are nice and have a legal unlock and have to legally unlock the phone after your contract ends. A lot of them do that. Actually, I believe all of them do. AT&T unlocked my phone for free, my S7, and I was able to sell that. I sold my S7 Edge for, I don't know, like $250, $300, something like that, and actually went towards the purchase of this phone because I did it different this time. This Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus is actually an unlocked phone. Instead of getting a contract where I have to pay on the phone in installments, I literally went into Best Buy and said, I want to purchase an unlocked Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. And they said, sure, thank you, that'll be $850. Yeah, I actually did that because I was tired of paying $100 a month for my cell phone. Now I pay like $67 or something like that. But you can do that. I mean, if you're willing to shell out that much money, you absolutely can just buy an unlocked phone. And yes, I know there are cheaper options out there, but at the time, it was like a status symbol. I wanted to have that Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. I wanted to have that phone. And now I kind of regret it. So hindsight is always 2020. Always. I knew somebody was going to call me out on that. Ruben asks, hey Matt, how is your new Surface tablet doing? I'm sure it's doing well with its new owner. Yeah, you heard me. I actually got rid of the Surface tablet. I wasn't planning on it. I really enjoyed the Surface tablet. But a good friend of mine, he knows who he is, had a desktop that I really wanted, and I was low on cash at the time, and he saw that I had the tablet, and he's like, would you be willing to do the trade? And at the end of the day, I wanted the desktop worse than I wanted to keep the tablet, and I actually made a really good deal there because I only paid $20 for the Surface RT tablet. It was a 32 gig, and I wound up getting a desktop that is worth $250 depending on the what I do to it. So I made a good deal there. Max O'Neill goes, up front is always the best. Absolutely. There is a gentleman called Dave Ramsey. I know I've talked about him a few times on these live streams. He's an entrepreneurial I guess like a financial planner, and he always talks about how debt is ruining the country, how cash is king, and he goes, the paid off house is replacing the BMW as the status symbol. And it is true, because when you think about it, back in the 80s and even into the early 90s, everything was credit. You want a new house, or you want a new house, get a mortgage. You want to put brand new wood floors in that house, put it on your credit card. You want that BMW 325i or that Maserati, put it on a credit card or get an auto loan. Nowadays, people are wising up because look at our country, billions of dollars in debt. I have not always been perfect. I do the best I can. But you know what? At the end of the day, you got to be true to yourself. And you will probably be getting into debt at some point in your life. We all do, and we probably all going to have trouble with it. The thing I'm trying to stress here is be smart with your money. Don't make it work for you. You work for your money, so make your money work for you. And I am not a financial planner by any means. As a matter of fact, I'm be talking with a good friend of mine who's a CPA, and we're going to make some pretty significant plans for some money I've been setting aside that I'm hopefully going to start using as investments. And we'll see what happens there. I'm a little nervous about that because I've had a lot of friends that have been lifelong investors, and some of them haven't done so well. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Julian Butler says, always read the phone reviews first. I actually did for this phone, the S9 Plus, and they were all good for the most part. I don't know whether I got a bad one, or you got to remember something. When people review phones, they're using their phones for different things. A lot of people just take pictures with their phones and short videos. And for that, this phone excels. You guys have seen some of my vlog videos, especially the ones I've taken with the rear camera. They're amazing. They are better, 10 times better than my S7 Edge was, especially that super slow motion mode. I love that. My biggest beef with this phone is the front-facing camera. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't actually do live streams with their phones. A lot of times they use them for, they do them on their computers, or they have a fancier setup with their DSLR. So I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that people just weren't using the phone for the same reasons that I was using it for. But again, I'll say again, hindsight is always 20/20. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Spencer Scroggins, check out Dan Bell on YouTube. I absolutely have. I love Dan Bell's video, especially his when he does the tours of those dirty hotel rooms. That gets me every time. Every time I see that, it makes me want to never stay in a hotel again. And believe me, I've been in some questionable hotels. A few years back, we went to my grandmother's funeral. She passed away in 2009 in Canada. And as we were heading back, we couldn't make the trip from Canada down to Virginia in one day, so we had to stay over in Kingston, New York. And we didn't have a lot of money in those days, so we stayed at this little tiny hole-in-the-wall flea bag motel that hadn't been updated since the Nixon administration. And how we got out of there without bed bugs or fleas, I'll never know. And it was bad. I wish I actually had my YouTube channel back then. This is way before I even really got into YouTube. So yes, I've definitely stayed in my share of questionable hotels/motels. I am so sick of this. You guys notice the losing focus again. I have no idea why this phone does this. I've tried every setting under the sun. Okay, Spencer Scroggins said, I found you on YouTube because of your videos on elevator tours in the Sears and Greenbrier Mall. Yeah, I filmed that again probably for the last time about, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's so sad that they're all going out. And I kind of like to do what people like Dan Bell and Ace's Adventures does, document these places, but I'm the kind of person that always gets caught by security. I tried filming a quick vlog in our local mall, and security tried to escort me out of the mall. I have a voice that carries, and even when I'm not talking, I guess just the way I walk and some of my mannerisms, it always gets the attention of security, so I just can't do it. I'll leave those kinds of videos to the professionals and the people that are good at that. Me, I'm gonna stick with the tech-related stuff, fitness, and these live streams because you guys really seem to enjoy these a lot. The desktop I got is an HP D2. It's not a very famous one. You may have a hard time finding any information on that. Max O'Neill says that he has focus issues with every one of his iPhones after 11 months. You can't bloom and fix it. You have to get bloom and fix. I got it. You have to get a repair / warranty. Yeah, from what I understand, this is a known problem with these S9 Pluses with the front-facing camera, and it's not a hardware problem. It's a software problem, and they're still working on it. I don't know why they can't fix it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's no way I can send it in, even if it was a hardware problem. There's no way I could send it in for a warranty repair because my phone is just that too valuable for me. If my phone ever just went, I would literally have to buy another phone and just probably write this one off. So I'm hoping that never actually happens. Okay, Spencer, you actually saw me there in Sears. That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, you guys can always come up to me. I'm a very personable person. If you see me in person and you want to say hi, please say hi. I'm not one of those YouTubers that likes to hide in the shadows when people come up to see me in person. That's fine. Yeah, Ruben said he looked it up for the HP D2 with no results. It was a very obscure model. Believe it or not, the weirdest thing about it is it does not have an internal power supply. It actually uses a external laptop style brick power supply. Stephen Barber says, at work I found a DC 5800 HP. I was shocked. Never used one. I have used the 7600 and 8300 Elite. I love those computers. Some of my favorites. Probably only second to the HP or the Dell Optiplex series, which is what I want to own one day, but not the DC 5800. Yeah, the DC 5800 is getting antiquated now. I think those were all Pentium 4 based systems. I think those were actually LGA 775, but they're all like Pentium 4 hyperthread. Some of them were hyperthread, some of them weren't. Ruben, can I put a picture of the desktop on Facebook? Unfortunately, I can't. Believe it or not, I've actually sold that already. If I find a picture, I'll go ahead and post it if I can find one online. And I should have taken a picture of it, honestly, but everything happens so fast, I shouldn't even have a chance. All right, I think we're going to end this in just a couple of minutes because my mouth is getting really dry and I'm getting really low on water here. I actually have to go to the thrift store too. They're supposed to have some computer stuff for me tonight. Whether or not they will, I don't know. This local thrift store has really been throwing me for a loop lately. The prices are skyrocketed. Used to have monitors like 1920 22-inch LCD monitors. Used to price them $9.95, maybe $14.95. Now they're asking $24.95 or $29.95 a piece for them. I'm not paying that. It's just not worth it. And a lot of that has to do with the new management. I hope they don't see that. And I have nothing against them. They're really nice people. It's just that they got to realize this stuff is donated. At the end of the day, if they're going to price things that high, they're just going to sit there for months on end. Oh, all right, tubers, that is it. I'm losing watchers here. I'm going to go and end this live stream. I think we had a lot of fun, got some information out there. Please continue to like and subscribe. I haven't gotten that $20 super chat yet, so when that comes through, hopefully on one of these live streams, I'll let you guys know if and when it does, and I'll see you guys on a roller coaster next year. Have a blessed evening, everybody.